All right, let's dive into something pretty cool today. We're talking about a new framework that could totally change how AI learns. It's called SKILLRL, and it's all about teaching AI to stop just forgetting everything and actually start mastering tasks.
So I want you to imagine something. What if you had this brilliant assistant, but every single day they show up to work and have completely forgotten everything from the day before? Every mistake, every breakthrough, poof, just gone. Well, that's kind of the reality for a lot of our most advanced AI agents right now. They basically get stuck in this loop. They try a task, they fail, and then later, they try the exact same thing again with zero memory of what went wrong. They're just trapped, you know? They can't build on their own experience.
And that's the core problem, right? Each attempt is treated like this totally separate, isolated event. The AI just can't connect the dots between what it did before and what it's doing now. So it never really accumulates wisdom. It is constantly, and I mean constantly, starting from scratch.
Here's a great way to think about it. Current AIs, they try to learn by memorizing the entire textbook for a test. Every single word, every footnote, all the useless stuff. It's just incredibly inefficient. But what do? We humans, we create a study guide. We pull out the key ideas, the core strategies, and maybe most importantly, the lessons from our mistakes.
And that brings us to AI's big memory problem. Because you see, just storing a bunch of past attempts, just remembering, is not the same as learning. Not even close.
The technical term for that big, messy textbook of memories is raw trajectories. It's basically the full, unfiltered log of everything the AI tried to do. It's bloated, it's noisy, and it makes it almost impossible to find the real lesson buried in all that junk. Okay, so how do we fix this? Well, that brings us to the SKILLRL solution. This is a whole new framework designed to shift AI from that mindless memorization over to genuine mastery.
It's called SKRLL, which stands for Recursive Skill-Augmented Reinforcement Learning. And yeah, I know, it's a mouthful, but the core idea is actually super elegant. It builds on reinforcement learning, teaching an AI with rewards and punishments, but it's all about teaching the AI to create its own study guide from its own experience.
The researchers who created SKRL put it perfectly. Their goal, they said, is to bridge the gap between raw experience and policy improvement through automatic skill discovery and recursive evolution. So what does that mean in plain English? It means it's not about just storing raw data anymore. It's about automatically discovering useful skills and then constantly making them better, turning messy experience into smart strategy.
So how does an AI actually do that? How does it develop these skills? Well, it all boils down to three core mechanics.
It's a pretty straightforward three-step process. First, the AI has to distill its raw experience into these tight, powerful lessons. Then, it organizes all those lessons into a library called a skill bank. And finally, it gets into this continuous loop of evolution, where it's constantly improving both itself and that library of skills.
The magic really starts right here, with this first step, distillation. SKILLRL looks at both the successes and, this is super important, the failures. Instead of just tossing out failed attempts, it actually analyzes them to create failure lessons. These are basically quick notes on what went wrong and why. This literally turns every mistake into a piece of incredibly valuable knowledge. Now, all of these distilled lessons get organized into something called the SKL bank. So think of this as the AI's own personal, curated study guide. It's not some messy pile of notes, it's a really well-structured library of strategies that the AI can just pull from whenever it faces a new challenge. And inside this library, the skills are broken down into two types. First, you've got your general skills. These are universal principles, like, hey, explore the areas you haven't been to first. Then you have task-specific skills, which are more like cheat codes for a particular job, like the exact perfect sequence of steps to clean a specific room. And finally, step 3 is evolve. This is really where it all comes together, because this isn't a one-time thing. SKILLRL creates what the researchers call a virtuous cycle. The agent gets better, which lets it tackle even harder problems. Tackling harder problems generates new experiences, which then expands and refines its skill library, which in turn makes the agent even smarter. They get smarter together.
So here's what that cycle looks like in action. The agent tries a task. Let's say it fails. It stops and analyzes what went wrong. From that failure, it distills a new skill. And now, the agent is smarter for the next try. It's this loop, this constant cycle, that allows for real, continuous growth.
The end result of this whole process is a total transformation. The agent evolves from a simple bot that's just stuck in a loop to this highly capable agent that learns, adapts, and actually grows with every single task it performs.
Okay, this all sounds amazing in theory, but, the big question is, does it actually work in the real world? Let's take a look at the proof. Check out this graph. It shows a performance comparison in a complex simulation called ALFWorld. And that bright red line, the one that's soaring way above all the others, yep, that's SKILLRL. It doesn't just reach a higher success rate, it gets there way faster. Let's put some hard numbers on that, because this is pretty wild. A standard method that just stores memories, it topped out at a 62% success rate. A more advanced algorithm got up to 78%. But SKILLRL, it hit an incredible 90% success rate. I mean, the difference is just night and day. And it wasn't a fluke. Across a whole range of tests, SKILLRL delivered an average performance boost of over 15% compared to other really strong methods. In the world of AI research, that is a massive leap forward.
So what's the bottom line? Why does all of this matter? It's because this is so much more than just a performance bump. It's a really crucial foundational step towards creating AI agents that can truly learn from their world, adapt to new things they've never seen, and evolve over time, completely on their own.
And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to think about. As AI starts to learn more like we do, by building skills from real experience, what kind of entirely new capabilities and possibilities is that going to unlock for all of us? It's going to be interesting to see. Thanks for tuning in.